Welcome to back to this topic that is joints. Okay, and we are divided joints into three parts. This means joint is of three types. One joint first, that is a immemorable joint. Okay. Second, that is little movable joint, and third, that is fairly movable joint. Okay, first, that is the immemorable joint. Immemorable joint is also called fibrous joint or synarthrosis joint. Okay, synarthrosis joint. Little movable joint is also called cartilaginous joint and also called amphiarthrosis joint. Okay, third, that is a more fairly movable joint, that is also called synovial joint or diarthrosis joint. Okay, why? This is the immemorable joint. This means two bones is attached with each other. Between two bones, white fiber connective tissue is present. Okay, white fiber connective tissue is present between two bones in immemorable joint. Okay, this means this bone is not movable. Okay, this cannot change its shape, such as this is the flanges of finger. This can movable bone. Okay, movable, fairly movable, but in the immovable joint, this bone cannot change this shape like this. Never. Okay, so this is the immovable joint, and immovable joint, this means between two bones, white fiber connective tissue is present. Where immovable joint is present, you can tell me. Yes, why not? Such as, this means place where immovable joint is present. Its example you can see here, that between cranial bones. Between cranial bones. Where cranial bones is present? In cranium, brain. Okay. In the cranium cavity, brain is present. So cranium is also called brain box. You have studied already this matter. Okay, so between cranial bones, immovable joint is present, and this is called sutures. Okay, and also immovable joint is present between some bone of face. Okay, between teeth and jaw bone. This type of bone is present. This means immovable joint is present. Next, that is little movable joint. In between the two, in little movable joint, between two bones, not white fiber connective tissue is present. Between two bones, cartilage is present. In a little movable joint, between two bones, cartilage is present. And where little movable bone is present? Between ribs and sternum. Between two vertebrae, centrum to centrum. Between two halves of pelvic girdle. Okay, little movable joint, little movable bones is present. This means cartilaginous. Between two bone, cartilage is present. Due to this, its name is cartilaginous joint also. And between in the immovable joint between two bones, white fiber connective tissue is present. Due to this, immovable joint is also called fibrous joint. Okay. Next, that is freely movable joint. Freely movable joint is also called synovial joint. And this freely movable joint is attached by ligament. Okay, both bone is attached by ligament, and in this means in freely movable joint, in freely movable bones, between two bones, hyaline cartilage present. Okay, and in that synovial fluid is present. You can see all that this the two bones, and two bones is attached with the ligament. Okay, one pair ligament, and inner side is also synovial membrane. This means two bones is attached by ligament and synovial membrane, and in the tip of both tip of bones, hyaline cartilage present. Okay, both bones tip on both bones, hyaline cartilage present, and between the cavity a synovial fluid present, and in the synovial fluid water plus mucopolysaccharide happens. In synovial fluid, water plus mucopolysaccharide happens. This is okay, and you can see here that immovable joint here present in the cranium, between some bones of face, between teeth and jaw bones. Little movable joint is present between ribs and sternum, between two vertebrae, centrum to centrum, and between two halves of pelvic girdle. But where freely movable joint is present, this means example of freely movable is next. Okay, and that freely movable joint are divided into many parts, such as first, and this is a very important for the medical student. Okay, first, that is the ball and socket joint. Ball and socket joint, and ball and socket joint that allow movement on a large scale in more than one direction. Okay, ball and socket joint that allow movement on large scale in more than one direction. Its example is, this means ball and socket joint is present between shoulder joint, hip joint, in the hip, pelvic and femur. Okay, ball and socket joint is present between shoulder joint, pelvic joint. In the pelvic joint and shoulder joint, which joint is present? The ball and socket joint. Okay, next, that is the hinge joint. Hinge joint, in the hinge joint, movement on large scale in one direction. Okay, its joint is present between the elbow joint. Elbow joint is the type of hinge joint, and knee joint, and joint between two flanges. Okay, next, about the pivot joint. Pivot joint that allow the rotational movement. Its example is joint between the atlas and axis, and joint between the radius and ulna. Okay. Next, that is the saddle joint. Saddle joint that allow movement in more than one direction on a small scale between carpal and metacarpal of thumb. Okay. And allow movement back and forth, side to side. Okay. Next, angular or episoidal joint. It's allow movement back and forth, side to side. Its example is joint between radius and ulna, carpal and tibia, fibula and tarsus. Okay. Next, that is the gliding joint. And gliding joint that allows sliding movement of one bone above another bone. Sliding movement. This means slide one bone above another bone. And its example is joint. This means gliding joint type of joint is present between the joint between two vertebrae. Joint between two vertebrae is like a gliding joint. Jagoposis to jagoposis. Joint between two row carpus and two row of tarsus. Gliding joint is present. Okay. This is the completely example of the synovial joint. Synovial joint, this means freely movable joint. Okay. You remember only in this that in the shoulder joint, which type of joint is present in shoulder? So you remember this, that ball and socket joint. In the pelvic girdle, this means in the hip joint is a type of, which type of joint? To ball and socket joint. Okay, you remember only this matter, that elbow joint is which type of joint? Hinge joint. Knee joint is which type of joint? Hinge joint. Okay.